Meeting recording has started.
Okay, so hi everyone. This training session is about how to use Silktide to improve web content accessibility scores. We'll cover the following topics, which you'll be able to see how compliant your department website is for users with disabilities. You'll learn how to make the necessary changes to improve the user experience and learn about descriptive link text and how to check for broken links and spelling errors. I ask that you save all questions until the end of the training session, and then we'll answer them at that time. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so a Silktide training page has been created. You can access it in the Mira staging site under Mira training. And it will, obviously you see it will go through the Silktide fundamentals. This is where you'll be able to see your department website, which I'll review that in a minute. You'll get to see the overview of Silktide and the information that it covers. And then it will also teach you how to improve your web content scores along with your accessibility scores. And then there's also additional resources at the bottom of the page, which I'll cover at the end of the session. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and log into Silktide. Okay, so here are the department pages that I was discussing. They're actually your department website. So it gives a list of all the web pages that your department has. So today I'm going to use planning as an example. So I'm on the planning site in Silktide, and this is where I can see that it measures content, accessibility, marketing, and the user experience. We don't really use marketing. We are more focused on content accessibility and improving the overall user experience. So this is where you can check for misspellings, you can check for broken links. There is an entire list of things that you can work on. Obviously, the list at the very top is priority, but I mean, you can work on whichever ones you see fit or you want to focus on that day. So I'm going to go to, you can go to content, accessibility, or the user experience. I'm going to go to accessibility. And then this is where you can see how compliant your website is across the board, across the St. Louis County website. And we're really paying attention to the web content accessibility guidelines. And there are 3 levels that are measurable. You have A, which is the lowest, that's the minimal requirement. AA is mid-range, which means that people could be excluded if your content is not fully ADA accessible, and then AAA is the highest. So here at St. Louis County, we are focused on A and AA. Those are our 2 priorities as far as how to measure the website. That is our goal. So I'm going to come over here to checks. And then this is the list of checks that are relatable to, Silktide and the county website. So today I am going to use combine adjacent links with the same destination as an example. And this is a single A web content accessibility guide issue. Okay, so as you can see, this is the list of web pages with that issue. So if you click on each one, so I'm going to click on this one. Over here where it says issues, if you click on this, it will show you where each issue is located on the page. So you'll be able to see exactly where and what content needs to be addressed. So as this one is sketch plan, and it goes down the list as you click on each link. So once you determine what the issues are and what needs to be fixed, then you can go up to this link, which takes you directly to that web page. And then this is where you can go and edit layout mode and make the the necessary edits. And that's how you can make the necessary edits and improve your web content accessibility scores on your website. So Silktide is relatively easy once you get the hang of it. It's not complex. It's easy to access each link. That way you know what pages need to be addressed. And then you just click back as I did, and it takes you right back to the list of web pages. So then you can just click on each one and so on and so forth. So here, click on issues, and it shows me exactly where the issue is. And then I can click on this link, which will take me directly to the web page. And then once I have fixed this web page, then I just hit the X. And once again, it takes you back to the list. So that is an example of how to, use Silktide to improve your pages. So the purpose of Silktide is to improve the quality of existing content on the website. And as I showed you, you can check for misspellings, missing descriptive link text, which I will cover in just a moment. And then it can also show you like missing page headers. So yeah, it just is a list of issues on your website, and it tells you how you can address them. So it's pretty user friendly. If you do have any questions, you can always reach out to one of us, Ed, Andy, or myself. But as I mentioned, there's a training page that is very descriptive and can tell you how to use Silktide. So I want to explain like the importance of this. And as I mentioned, we are really trying to improve the web content accessibility scores on the St. Louis County website. So there are a couple things that also, besides Silktide, that we want to concentrate on, which is descriptive link text and then image alt text, which everyone is very much aware of. We check for image alt text in the approval process. And that just means that the alt text will enable a person who cannot view the image to receive the essential information that the image conveys. So as far as descriptive link text, all links must be descriptive for accessibility reasons. And this helps users with cognitive disabilities differentiate between the links. So it provides users who use a screen reader with the proper context of where clicking the link will take them. So in the past, we have web pages out there that say, like click here or visit this website. We're trying to avoid that going forward because, as I mentioned, we want to make sure that people with cognitive disabilities know exactly where the link takes them, and it's very specific. So I'm going to show you an example of that. That way you can, get a better understanding and just see what it looks like. So hold on one moment. Okay, so this is the call to action training page. It's also located in Mira Staging, so you can access that. And this will show you like how to create a call to action. But most importantly today, what I'm trying to convey and express is that the importance of descriptive link text. So for this example, the Northside Southside Study 2023 survey is a prime example. And if you look at this sentence right here, so this is the sentence, this is the message that is being conveyed to the user. But if you notice, this will say complete the MetroLink services survey. So that lets someone know with a screen reader exactly where they're going, which is essential because all links must be descriptive for accessibility reasons. And like I said, that's something that we are really trying to concentrate on and improve because we're trying to improve our web content accessibility scores. we're also talking about videos. We have new guidelines for videos. They're not necessarily new guidelines, but they're guidelines that we are trying to enforce at St. Louis County going forward. And videos must contain the same information in both visual and audio format, so that people with disabilities that have like hearing problems or sight problems are able to access the information. So videos and image alt text and then the descriptive link text are just 3 examples that we're really trying to improve. And I will also show you an example of the video section. That way you know, can get a better understanding. And when moving forward, you know what needs to be changed in order to make a better user experience. So Silktide also, if you have time, I definitely recommend that you use the additional resources. So if you go to the Silktide training videos, it will take you back to Silktide. And this is the Academy section. So this is where all like the resources, there's all kinds of videos on how to use Silktide. What is Silktide? Look at the reports overview. I mean, you can literally watch these videos and learn all day, but we're primarily focused on introduction to web content accessibility guidelines. What is web accessibility and why does accessibility matter? So I highly suggest, like in your free time or when you have time, to go in there and watch those videos and see, you know, learn more, because the more that you learn, then we can move that, you can incorporate that going forward in the approval process. So I know that was pretty quick, but does anyone have any questions at this time?
I have a question. This is Ryan Weiss in DPH Communications. I was wondering if a specific decision has been made on a site to keep something that this system flags as an error. Is there a way to sort of note that or point that out?
Ed or Andy? So on the list, so Silktide shows a list. Are you saying that like there's things that show up that you don't necessarily see a reason to change?
Correct.
Then that in that instance or that section, then you can just move on to the next one. There's really no way for you to like click on that and click like ignore to where it doesn't appear on the list. That's just something that you'll just have to skip on by and go to the next section. So it'll always be there, but you know, if you already know that it doesn't need to be addressed, then don't worry about it.
Okay. And hopefully, yes, and hopefully it's not just one little thing that's going to tank a whole score. So yeah, okay, no, that's fine.
Yeah, there's a chance, you know, that it's not always going to be perfect. You're not always going to have every single page or every single section 100%. It's just try to improve on the sections that you can.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Does anyone else have any questions? Dana, do you have anything that you want to contribute, or did I cover everything?
Oh, I'll always have something to say. And if anyone doesn't know me, I'm the county ADA coordinator, and I've been working with IT on looking at some of these tools that I think are really fantastic and can help us with our user experience. A lot of these things are things that we might not think about every day, but once you kind of see how it affects somebody and their ability to access our services, it can really hit it home for us in a personal way. I would note that just earlier this week, these web content accessibility guidelines went from being just recommended practices to being signed into law, to where they are part of the ADA now. And it is something that the county is going to be held to. The standard is the 2.1 AA.
And you'll be able to see that information in Silktide. So Silktide will tell you what web pages need to be addressed in order to meet those guidelines. Any
Caitlin,
other
you and I
additional-
added a lot of new things into the Mura guide or the style guide.
Yes, so
that
I
can be
will show
useful as
you.
well.
Yeah, good call, Dana. Hold on one moment. I'm going to go back to that page. Okay, so this is the Silktide training video, or Silktide training page. So if you go to Mura training, we updated our style guide with the ADA requirements in it. So this is all, our information and resources. So if you go to the style guide, you can go through this, and ADA information has been added to this document. So where it says web accessibility, this is the new section that we put into the style guide. And then if you go down by each section, so like images, maps, and charts, icons, card summaries, videos. This is what I was just talking about. Videos has been added. So those are just 3 sections that have been added to the style guide or have more details, and it's all related to ADA accessibility. So as we mentioned, St. Louis County is really trying to improve on that, and that is our goal. So yeah, reference the style guide. There's information on how your content should be on the website in order for it to follow those style guides. And, like I said, that'll help make all the content accessible to everyone.
Caitlin, when this meeting is over, will you send links, clickable links to the video training and all the sites that you've kind of navigated us through?
Yes, definitely. I'm also
Great.
going to post this video that we're recording on the Mura training page, so anybody can come back and reference the video as well. But I'll also send out a follow-up email and include the links. That way you can reference them at any time. Any other additional thoughts or questions?
I would like to step back to Ryan's question earlier. You actually, once you address an issue on a page, say for example, if you have a spelling mistake and you correct that in Mira, eventually Silktide will do another test on the site and it will remove it from the list on Silktide. So you won't see it anymore. Once it's been addressed, it will remove itself from the list in Silktide.
That
I
makes sense.
I don't know what the time frame on that is exactly, but it does.
Yeah, and it's not an immediate result. That's one thing that I've noticed, but over the course of time, I don't know, it takes like a few days or a week, but there will be times when like it's still there and you'll be like, I thought I addressed this, but it just takes a bit of time for it to go away. Okay, well, if there's no other thoughts or questions, I'll go ahead and end this session and give you some time back.